So when do you dictate to me, the American citizen, what I can wear, when I can wear it, and how long I can wear it? That's preposterous.
It's incredible, and it just gets worse and worse. I want to go to Gilbert, who disagrees, Chris and Paul, because they've been holding for a long time. When we come back in this next short segment, we're going to continue with our guest, but you'll get a chance to not just talk to Alex Jones, but Rob Redding of ReddingNewsReview.com. Excellent syndicated broadcast. I suggest our affiliates out there look at picking it up. Great radio, brought to you by a program director, so he knows what he's doing. And thank you for mentioning the Radio Inc., Rob. I haven't really covered it yet because I want to have a chance to read over it a few times, but it's a pretty positive report. It's an insider publication for those that don't know. And Dr. Laura went from 20-something affiliates to 400 after she was on the cover. Let's talk to Gilbert in Texas, who says he disagrees. Gilbert, go ahead, sir. Gilbert in Texas, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I wanted to say that this is a little overblown. I think the movie's terrific. I think it's a fictional movie, and I think people know to distinguish between fiction and reality. And we're not that stupid to go out there and do exactly what a movie tells us to do or implies us to do. And
well, Gilbert, Fox put out the trailer, and they said this is a message to Arizona, and then it cuts to people with sniper rifles at politicians shot at the Capitol, and it has white people running around like a bunch of racists killing Hispanics. The point is that this is taxpayer-funded, we've now discovered as well.
Well, let me tell you, as a supporter of immigrants, and I'm not for open borders, but as a supporter of immigrants, because I was a former teacher, that I've worked with immigrants myself, and they're fine people. The majority of them are all fine people. And right now, I know an illegal immigrant myself that has been here all his life. His parents were too irresponsible to get him his papers. So now that he's married with kids here, he has to go all the way to Mexico and spend a couple of years or whatever, I don't know how long, and leave his family here, which is something that's out of the question.
Sir, if we just let everybody in, if we didn't have this big welfare system, it might work. The country is going bankrupt. Have you seen California laying all these people off, totally falling apart?
But the immigrants are the hardest working segment of the population. Look at every kitchen, look at every street, look at every construction site. The hardest work is being done by the immigrants.
Let me get a comment from Rob Redding on this. Rob?
What kind of weed are you smoking? I don't understand. I mean, if you say the immigrants are the hardest working population, they are taking jobs away from individuals that were already in line, even people that immigrated legally. I have tons of people that call into my show that immigrated here legally that say these folks are jumping in front of us and unemploying us. They came here legally.
Well, let me tell you something. You can make the case for Walmart and any big corporation over competing for jobs and taking away jobs from and businesses from everyone. You can make that case for
don't change the issue. You're the one saying that immigrants are good for America. I'm not saying immigrants are bad. I'm saying illegals are bad. And as far as your friend goes, it's not our fault that he's illegally here. His parents should have done what they should have done and taken care of that paperwork. So, you know what? I'm crying no tears here for this guy having to go back and handle his business.
Well, that's an opinion. It's not a fact. I think.
Listen, let me expand on this, sir. Are you denying that they have 800-plus sanctuary cities where citizens are arrested for drunk driving and not having insurance and ticketed, but illegals aren't?
You know, that's the truth. Let me tell you, the problem is the government. It isn't the people that are the immigrants. They didn't make that law.
What do you mean? Vicente Fox came to Austin and gave money 5 years ago and gave awards to the state, to the city, and to Wells Fargo for allowing them to have rights that citizens don't have, sir. Listen, what about all the illegals that are running around saying this is Mexico? Spain had it, France had it, Russia had California. I mean, they don't say they have a claim. I mean, it was the United States. Mexico attacked troops in Oklahoma. That's why the U.S. Marines and Army went down there and took over Mexico City, and they didn't take that. They paid Mexico for what was here. Look, let's just say this is really Mexico. Why would people want to turn this into Mexico? Look at what's happened in Mexico. Gilbert?
Party of people. You know, who cares about what those people say? You know, that's just a small portion of the population. I mean, I'm a Latino, and I don't say that. I don't care who owns this country as long as I'm free and I can do whatever I want. Who cares? Who cares what the Minutemen say?
Well, you say you think it's a great. Hold on, you think it's a great movie. Have you seen Machete?
I've seen the trailer; it looks terrific, and I've seen his other movies, and they're absolutely entertaining. So I'm looking forward to see it.
Gilbert, are you here legally?
No, but if I wasn't, I would be proud to be here illegally, because there's nothing wrong with looking for liberty. Any human being that looks for liberty, power to them. I don't think liberty should be only allowed for...
You can't just take liberty, sir. You can't take liberty hostage, and that's what these people are doing.
Well, you know, so be it. So be it. If, you know,
I'm not going to let some illegals hijack liberty, sir. I'm not going to do it.
And you know what? I'm not going to stay in a country where I'm a slave, an economic slave. I'm not going to stay in a country where I might get killed, and I'm not going to stay in a country where I can't feed my family. No one's killing you. No one's enslaving you.
He's talking about Mexico.
Oh.
I'm talking about Mexico.
Okay.
And I'll escape at any time, and I don't care what anybody says. And you know what? I'm a supporter of the 9/11 movement. I'm a supporter of false flag. I believe the government does false flags. But you know what? I can't disagree more with you guys on this issue, and I think I have a right to.
Sir, we just had you on air. We went to you first. I mean, my whole issue is there's 600 million people in Latin America. There's over 6 billion globally that all want to come here. We can't have 6 billion people here. And we're the most open country in the world. I mean, Mexico has their most draconian border control after North Korea. They admit that. They grab Guatemalan immigrants and in Mexico, they treat natives horribly. I'm just sick of Mexico telling America how bad it is. Rob Redding's our guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Rob Redding is our guest. I want to go to Chris, Paul, Ian, Ivan, Joe, and others for you on this subject. But this is the perfect divide and conquer for the Ford Foundation and the government, where you bring in tens of millions of people and they just say, look, I'll come here if I want. People come here. There's ads in the newspaper in Mexico. This has been in the news saying, come here. When your water breaks, have your baby. You can stay. You all go on welfare. The baby's paid for. They're telling teachers and highway patrol people they've got to work 5 days a week and be paid for 4. They're laying off half the cops in many towns, in Ohio, California, you name it. Everything's collapsing. The nation's bankrupt. And kids wear American flags in school and have to leave because it's upsetting. And then he says, oh, no, that's not the view. And I think this movie Machete is wonderful when I've got the script and it is off the charts horrible. Mr. Redding, break this down for us, your view on it.
I think that what we're seeing here is exactly what you just said. This is a tragedy in motion, and there are people that are racing toward the flames. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, what we're seeing in terms, and the only reason why I'm thinking clearly here is because I'm an independent. I'm off the political party plantation. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not even a partisan independent. I'm a nonconformist independent. I can see this for what it is. I don't care about the Republicans getting more votes. I don't care about the Democrats getting more votes, or the Libertarians, or anyone else. I'm not aligning with any right, left, center coalition on this thing, either for or against. I am going rogue here, I guess, for a better way to put it, and just saying, look, this is wrong. To have these people imported as the quote-unquote new slaves within this whole economic structure that these people are trying to build here, and we see it being built before our eyes on their backs, and unemploying people that have been in line first, that are American citizens, and not lock these people up is dead wrong.
It is, Rob. It is dead wrong. Let's go ahead and talk to Chris in Texas. No, we just talked to Chris. Who's up next, John? Chris in Texas is. We had an earlier Chris. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Alex, I want to thank you, man. First-time caller, long-time listener. I am just blown away, downright furious. I mean, from this Robert Rodriguez film, I once, and I will say, used to be a fan of his. I enjoyed some of his earlier shows, but as a Hispanic American, as a Hispanic in America, I literally just have to step down from that and just say, it's not right. I mean, as Hispanics, that live here in America, people they have to, and I'm talking about them specifically, have to sit back and say, listen, we're Americans first. We were born here. We had loved ones and family members die in wars in this country to give us the right to live here, and to sit there and join arms with groups that believe in this Aztlán, this Mexico Rising. It's ludicrous, and it's a slap in the face of everybody who's fought, whether you're Hispanic.
And Mexico's not rising. It's not the example. I mean, it never had a 1776. I mean, I wish Have you seen the video of that communist school teacher saying,
yes.
look, these racist white people don't really dislike us because we're brown. They don't like us because we're communist. And, well, that's actually true. Imagine having a bunch of foreigners saying, we love communism. And let me tell you, that's a big percentage of these people because the universities and schools teach it. I mean, I'm not for turning my guns in. And most of these immigrant groups, when they vote, they end up voting for big government and gun control. And so, of course, and then Robert Rodriguez is making a movie where these pro-gun militias are the bad guys. There aren't militias out murdering people at the border. It's made up.
He demonizes it, Alex. What Robert Rodriguez and what Hispanics don't understand is they are going to demonize good, tax-paying, voting Hispanics that live in America, that, like myself, who married a white woman who's having a child. You know what? There's nothing wrong with embracing your heritage and your ancestors, but there's something wrong with not embracing who you are as an American and having the pride in what you are. My son will speak Spanish, but he will learn American first. He will learn English first.